there, Tracy here for Trinity Stamps. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this little circle interactive card using our T-riffic Dinos and our Simply Sentimental Friend and our circle card die. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here I have our circle card cutting die, and I have gone ahead and cut out what I need here. I have our Simply Sentimental Friend stamp set, and I have the coordinating dies. And then I have our T-riffic Dinos. Aren't these the cutest? And listen, I can't stop chuckling when I look at those two T-Rexes trying to hug each other. Just kills me. So what I've done here is I've cut a purple card base here and kind of a, I don't know, a minty green liner, so to speak, so that I can, have several layers on my card. Sorry about that. Words are hard, friends. Let's go ahead and keep going here. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to do the inside of the card. So since the inside is purple, I need a lighter color, and I want to put sentiments on here. And I'm using You've Got a Friend in Me. And so I'm going to use the cursive friend word. And I'll just lay that kind of in the middle-ish. And then you've got a friend in me. So I'll get those all laid out and get them stamped, and we'll have the inside of our card almost done. We still have to do our interactive part, but I'll go ahead and lay my stamps down and get them as even as I possibly can and stamp them onto, this is a 4-inch circle, by the way. So our circle card die is 4.5 inches. So we'll have a little bit of a border all the way around. And we'll go ahead and stamp this out until it's nice and dark, and then I'll kind of set it aside and let it dry a little bit because I am using a heavy pigment ink and several layers just to make sure it's all covered. So I don't want it to smudge. So we'll move that aside and move on to the next step here. And what I want to do here is clean off my stamps real quick. And now, suddenly I've sped up. I'm stamping out my dinos and I'm coloring them. And so I've got this in high speed. And I'm just doing some pretty simple coloring here. Nothing too intense. Just adding a little bit of shading here and there. And just doing my dinos in the color I feel like they should be. I don't know. Some aquas and some oranges and some purples. And each dino will have a different color. And this little dino, by the way, is going on the inside. And I will cut these out off camera. Now I'm just putting kind of just some white lines and dots just to kind of highlight everything. And now I've got them all cut out and ready to go. I can just not stop giggling when I look at these two trying to hug each other. So I have cut second layers of both of them because I want to make sure that they're nice and sturdy. And what I'm doing now is I'm laying my cut piece out here in my stamp platform, and then I want to do the hug me, and I'm trying. I'm trying! I don't know who thought that up, but it is hilarious. For the outside of my card, because I want to stamp the hug me and I'm trying directly down onto the card panel that I created here. So just make sure I get these kind of as even as I possibly can. Lay it out the way I want it, and then I can go ahead and pick up my little stamps and stamp it down. Because I'm also going to pop those dinosaurs up, so that's why I kept them on there for now. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Listen, if you have any kind of sense of humor, this is, to me, just the funniest card you could send to somebody. It doesn't even have to be for a Valentine. It could be for any time. And this is, basically a friendship card. So there's that. All right, so moving right along here, let's go ahead and start building our card now. So I've got my purple card base. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up and do the inside. So I'm going to glue the You've Got a Friend in Me directly down onto the card base on the inside. And this will also make the card more sturdy. And I do have this in a top folding position because we are going to have a dino popping out there, or popping up, I should say. And I mainly wanted to illustrate that you can still do interactive with the round card bases or the cupcake ones or whichever one. So what I have here is I have a strip of this same green paper, and I have just basically scored it at 1/2 inch 4 times, and I'm going to fold the other portion right down over my last score mark. Let me make sure I've got this all nice and even so it sits flat. And then just make sure I get any excess glue off, and then what I end up with is just kind of this shape right here. And I do want that part that's popping up as well, but I don't want it to be quite as long. That's what our dino is going to be leaning on. So I'll trim that off so it's about 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to glue this down to the card base. I'm going to make sure that it folds flat both ways. And then I'll glue the bottom portion of it down to the bottom half of the card, just above the fold line. And then I'll lay it down flat, make sure it's centered here, and give it a good push. And then I'll add glue to the top half of that folded box and just close the card. And what you want to do if you're using liquid glue is let that dry. You can put something heavy on it, or you can put a clip on it or something like that, but just make sure it's dry before you move on to the next step. And typically I'll put a clip on it. But today I'm putting something a little just kind of heavy and giving it a chance to dry, especially since the liquid glue I'm using isn't a super quick grab. It's a great glue, but it doesn't grab immediately. So I've got the Friends sentiment, and I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to cut its shadow layer out as well. And I'll do the shadow layer in white, and I'll do the friend in the same purple as the card base. So I'll cut those off camera and be right back. Okay, so I've got that cut out. I've got my shadow layer cut out. You want to be careful with the friend sentiment. It's got a very tiny tittle for the eye. Super easy to lose. Easy to replace with a sequin or something, or a tiny little, I don't know, diamond shape, what have you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, and notice I'm working on top of that piece of acetate or acrylic block, so that all my pieces kind of stay where I can see them. Sometimes they're hard to find when they're little like that. And I'll go ahead and poke this out. And it's pretty delicate. I'm going to move that other piece aside so I don't get confused about what part goes where. And see, you can barely see my tittle there. I can't even see it when I'm looking at my filming, but I know it's there because we'll see it here in a minute, because I'm going to put it on first. That's the only way to do it in my world, is to get that piece out of the way first. So I'm just going to add a little bit of my liquid glue. Then I'm going to take my pick and stick tool and pick it up with the waxy end. Now where is it? There it is. See? There. Now I don't have to worry about that guy anymore. Now I can glue the rest down with confidence. Get him straight using the other end, the pointy end. And then for the friend, I'm going to just lay some glue down here onto another mat. And I'm just kind of make kind of a zigzag motion here, back and forth. And then I'll take my tweezers and I'll basically just dunk my letters in there. Just kind of rubbing them around and pushing down with my tweezers and making sure that there's glue all over it. And then I'll just lay it directly down onto the shadow layer. Super easy. And that gluey part's easy to clean up if you have like some sort of a silicone mat. All right, so I'm confident that the inner part of this is dry now, so I'm going to open it out, and I'm going to put this little dino right here. I start to put glue on it, and then I remember that I need to put that backer piece on there because this is alcohol marker friendly paper and it isn't super sturdy. So I have cut a piece of sturdy 120-pound cardstock to attach to the back of it just to make sure that he stays strong. He's got those little parts that hang out and stuff. So I'll just add a little bit of glue and I'll just glue him to that extended piece that I left there. And just make sure I press down really well, make sure the card still closes, test it out. Yep, works just fine. So now we can complete putting together this card. And the rest is piece of cake. I really, really, really love this set. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue here and glue this down, trying to make sure it's as straight as I can get it on a circle, with making sure I have even borders all around. And I'm going to pop up little dinos, but I'm also going to give them a little sturdy, more sturdy of a base before I pop them up, so they don't get bent in the mail. We'll just kind of stick them both together. Make sure they're straight. There we go. Oh my gosh, too funny. I can't wait to send this card to a friend. And it will fit in a regular A2 size envelope. I'm just going to use these foam strips to pop this up, and I'm not using a whole bunch because I really don't need it. I have the sturdiness of the 120-pound or 110-pound cardstock stacked underneath. So I don't need a whole lot on there, just enough to kind of balance it out. So I'll go ahead and add some liquid glue here to get that stuck down. And these look to be about, I don't know, maybe 3mm foam. I'll stick them where I want them because I want to put the friend on there as well. And I'm going to do friend right about here. And I'm going to glue that straight down. I don't want too much popping up out of this card, but I do want some dimension. There we go. I'm trying. So in my mind, the little guy on the inside is the one that has the help on the way with his little arm extenders. And what I'm doing here is I'm looking for some little embellishments that will go nicely onto the card. But then I decide I want to do my glossy accents first, so I'm just going to gloss up my little hearts. Just to kind of give that little added touch. And I think I'm only doing the hearts on these guys, nothing more. Then I'll add my embellishments. And so I decide that I want to go with purple. So I'm going to go with these little purple iridescent bubbles, and I will link them down below because they came in like a paper wrapper, but I moved them into these little boxes, so I don't have the name of the particular embellishment, but it is from Trinity. And I'm just going to add some glue spots where I think I want them. I'll start out with 3 and see where we go from there. You could do any, or you could leave them off completely, but I just wanted a little bit of extra shine here. So I'll start with the 3 right here, and I think I want to do a couple more up here. We'll do a total of 5, so an odd number, but they're not all the same size. I'm doing some smaller ones and some larger ones. Just wanted to add that little bit of extra purple here. So there we go. There's our little interactive card. Friend, hug me. I'm trying. You've got a friend in me. He's got his little arm extenders to help out with that hug. I hope you like this video. If you do, leave us a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave us a comment down below. We love to hear from you. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. And don't forget to subscribe to the Trinity Stamps channel and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified each time we upload a new video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.